Well, this morning, UNM is backtracking on Sex Week.
That's right. We're talking about racy classes on campus that taught students how to have better sex. These seminars are all part of an event this week that UNM hosted in an attempt to avoid sexual assault. But yesterday, university leaders did an about-face and admitted organizers crossed the line, saying the initiative did not have close enough supervision to prevent the inclusion of topics that are sensational and controversial.
I mean, to be educated, to be safe, those are the things that really need to be, hit home. So had they done a better job maybe about that part of it, or making sure that's what people hear about, not necessarily, how to be naughty.
Basically, university leaders said that in the future they will do a better job vetting campus programs. The VP of Student Affairs and the event organizer did not want to go on camera to talk to us. UNM used student fees designated for educational purpose to pay for this special event. And speaking of UNM, there is good and bad news when it comes to crime on campus.
Well, let's start with the bad, or at least what looks that way on the outset. Sexual assaults are up. Back in 2012, 4 sexual assaults were reported on campus, and last year 11 were reported. This includes everything from rape and date rape to groping. UNM says it is not surprised by the increased numbers, though, because it is doing more to let students know how to get help when something like this happens. UNM says other crimes have gone down. Let's take a look at the facts this morning. In 2013, there were 24 reports of burglary on campus compared to 35 the year before. Car thefts, however, were up. There were 41 in 2013, 3 more than 2012. And for the first time, UNM had to document arsons and hate crimes. There were reports of 1 each in 2013. The university says it could not tell us more about them. Liz?
A Santa Fe businessman is shot in his own driveway, and this morning police are still looking for the suspects. Peter Combs told police that 3 to 4 men got out of a white car Tuesday night and attacked him in his driveway on Don Gaspar. He was shot twice in the back. Combs, who owns property on the plaza, is in the hospital recovering this morning. Back in May, police were called to his home after a burglar stole more than $10,000 worth of jewelry. Home surveillance video here captured that burglary. No one was ever arrested for that crime, though. The Biopark's aquarium's effort to kill a parasite ended up killing a lot of fish instead. Workers tell us about 100 fish were poisoned in the Atlantic coral reef tank yesterday when the aquarium used a strong drug to try and kill the parasite. The chemical, called in short Dilox, has been used in the same tank before.
I don't know what happened, but the drug has had a negative effect on the fish itself. It is a type of toxin. It's meant to be given at a dosage that will kill the parasite, but not the fish. But it can affect different systems in different ways.
The aquarium says the fish that were killed are all common Caribbean fish and will be restocked. No word yet on how much that will cost.
5:04 now. A vandal marking up UNM's campus with something other than spray paint has UNM police stumped this morning. The person has been using red prickly pear fruit to destroy property. So UNM police have nicknamed this graffiti writer the prickly pear suspect. The university says in the past month it's seen more than a dozen political markings. Each signature not only smells, but it takes hours to remove because the fruit stains.
Each one of these takes us anywhere from an hour to 3 hours to remove the display. So when you add that labor cost up, it's not only taken away from other things that we can be doing on campus, but it is costing the taxpayers a significant amount of money for us to be doing this.
The prickly pear graffiti makes up about 10% of all the graffiti at UNM. Well, as we've been telling you for the last few weeks, a park in Albuquerque has been littered with dangerous trash, including used needles.
But today, that park is a little safer thanks to some volunteers. Volunteers spent yesterday cleaning up a neighborhood in the International District. APD provided the cleaning supplies. Neighbors and a nonprofit got to work filling up trucks. They found beer bottles, broken glass, and yes, a syringe.
The frustrating part really is when we find this kind of stuff at a park that's located next to a school. I mean, we can do better than this. I mean, this should be a place where the kids can come and enjoy themselves. And if we're having to worry about syringes and bottles, then it's taking away from what they should be using the park for.
The nonprofit rehab center will be taking the first Wednesday of every month to focus on cleaning neighborhoods that need it. Well, Balloon Fiesta pilots will have a new cushy place to land this year. Part of the 22-acre Vista del Norte Park opened yesterday off of Osuna. But 10 acres can be used as the landing zone for the Balloon Fiesta, which kicks off this weekend. They say more than 70% of the flights actually end up heading in that direction.
What we're told by the balloonists is that as Albuquerque builds out, there are fewer and fewer landing places. So that was one reason that this park was so important.
Pretty cool. Pilots can also launch from the new park, which is only partially finished. The park will eventually be opened and used for recreational sports and other activities around or through the year. Speaking of Balloon Fiesta, opening day for Balloon Fiesta starts early on Saturday with the first dawn patrol going up at 5:45. That's followed by the morning glow at 6:30 and then the opening ceremonies at 6:45. The mass ascension takes off at 7 a.m. with our own Mark Ronchetti and Kim Baez giving you the live play-by-play right here on Channel 13. And of course, KRQE News 13 this morning will be out there all next week. Matt and Cassandra, so jazzed about that. Head on over to our website, krqe.com, for all of those details.
I'll be out there Saturday too, people. I'll be roaming the field. You'll get your fair share of me as well. 5:07 now. Here's some good news. Roswell is getting an economic shot in the arm. The state announced yesterday that AirSale, an international supplier of aftermarket aircraft, is expanding there. The company works out of the Roswell airport and already has about 100 workers. The expansion will create 50 new jobs, 20 of them personnel support and 30 aircraft technicians. The state credits the move with a recent law that eliminated tax on the sale of commercial aircraft. Well, hundreds of General Mills workers will soon be out of a job, but will any of those jobs be lost from the cereal plant right here in Albuquerque? General Mills says it'll cut between 700 and 800 salaried positions as part of a multi-year restructuring plan. And do not forget, General Mills cut hundreds of factory jobs 2 years ago. We called the company to find out if any layoffs will happen at the plant off Paseo near 2nd Street. We got an email back saying General Mills has not made any announcements involving Albuquerque.